Welcome back to the Being Found Show, where you can take the unfair advantage. This is the best 2 hours in radio for business. You will be found by more buying customers if you listen to this show. I think I can go on and on. What do you, yeah.
Well, we got to get the point across about how great this is. I think it's somewhat worth going on and on about because it is simplifying. Everybody goes, oh my gosh, SEO. No, I got to wrap my brain around this crazy idea. Oh my gosh, SEM, search engine marketing. Now I got to wrap my brain around pay-per-click advertising and social. I don't even want to get started there. Being Found really sort of says, okay, here's the premise. Your goal is to be found. It's not search. It's not pay-per-click. It's just to be found. Make yourself available, and let's take it from there. Because, once you make yourself available, let's say I'm available, and let's put it in old school advertising terms. I'm in the newspaper, and I'm in the phone book, and I'm on TV, and I have a call tracking number for each of those things. And TV is making me 400 times more money. Where are you going to put some of that advertising dollars, Right. But you wouldn't have known that if you didn't put yourself in those three areas in order to see where you're being found at.
Yeah, I think you said it well, too. This is about being found. It's not about search or social or anything. It depends on where your customers are and what they're doing. And I got to go back. For me, there was a magic moment. And I don't remember how many years ago it was, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, a little more than that. And a brilliant marketer. I'm telling you, this guy was brilliant, or is brilliant still. He's not dead. Brilliant.
He just lost his brilliance somehow over the years.
Yeah, he lost his brilliance. Brilliant marketer. He said, he goes, Joe, I got this business model, and I want to start it, but I'm not going to be able to handle how many people are going to be calling in, so I haven't turned it on yet. And I go, oh, well, I've got some contractors. I can help you handle the phone calls. It was a troubleshooting type business. I'll help you with phone calls. I go, what do you mean you won't be able to handle the phone calls once you turn it on? How good are you at marketing? He goes, oh yeah, it's a lot. It'll be a lot. I said, prove it. And he goes, okay. And he goes to his computer and he messes around for a minute on Google AdWords, and next thing I know, the phone starts ringing. And we were on the phone most that night answering calls. Or we were on chatting with people. And I said, what in the world just happened? I said, that was the most impressive AdWords campaign I've ever seen. Well, that's when Being Found came to me almost in an instant. What he had done is what all smart businesses should do. He figured out who his customer was, where his customer was, what they were looking for, what their problem was, and he built an AdWords campaign that he knew was for them in that place at that time, right where they needed. He made sure his website had what they were looking for. He put that front end hard work in. That measure twice, cut once that contractors say. He did that, which made so he knew when he turned on that AdWords campaign, it was going to work. And that's when my brain started trying to make sure I could identify and make sense of that. And it took me a couple years to put the whole concept together of Being Found. But that's really what it is. That brilliant marketer did the work ahead of time to make sure he was talking to the right audience and had the right ads, and then he just put it to work. And so I think that's what I'm trying to say we're doing here for the remodeling contractors or anyone who's listening, is we're trying to give you a glimpse into you can know the things you need to make wise marketing decisions. You can know the things you need to so that you are being found where your customers are and with what they're looking for. And like never before, right? It's funny, back when we had newspaper and TV and radio was all we had, we only knew if it worked if the phone rang.
Oh, yeah.
But now, I know if an ad's working by if it's showing up, or if people are clicking, or I can watch a website, and I don't know if everybody knows this, but we have software that allows us to see where you're clicking and watch your mouse when you're on our websites. Now, no one's ever going to come to our websites.
Oh yeah, you can straight up record their visit if you get that point, but that's further down the line. You got to start somewhere, and analytics is in there, and a great metric that anybody can understand if they look at it is bounce rate. Okay, people are finding us, we are being found, but when they find us, they don't like us because they're leaving immediately.
Right.
And so that is like a great starter metric to get people to go, okay, well, I'm doing the first half right, but the second half needs a little bit of help.
Yeah. And that's all knowable now. That's all visible. And that's why I call it being found, or we call it being found by more buying customers. It's not just being found. What if you're being found and everyone bounces? They leave your website or they don't call you. Well, who cares? You want to be found by more buying customers.
Yeah, and something I like to point out. So my wife's mother-in-law, she didn't want to use Facebook. Computers, man, they're too much for her. And I finally sit her down and I'm all, no, we're going to learn to use Facebook. I'm all, what do you want to do? She's all, I want to find my daughter to be friends with her. And I'm all, what do you use to find things? And she looks at the screen and she's all, a magnifying glass. And I'm all, you click that, Yeah. And then it comes up and there's a picture of two little profiles sitting next to one another. And I'm all, you want to be friends? Look on there. What button makes you friends? And she's all, clicks it. And I'm all, that's right. Most things on the internet now, analytics, these things, most of these things are not made for people like me. Most of these things are made for business owners, are made for consumers, are made to be easy.
That's right.
And to be understandable.
That's right. Chauncey, that was a great point. Especially nowadays, you could go into your analytics, your Google Analytics, which is Google's reporting tool to tell you what's going on with your website. You can go in there and your very first dashboard will be a set of reports that Google thinks are very important for you to know. You're going to look at regular charts and graphs like you're used to looking at in the rest of your business.
Right.
As soon as you log in.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a great point.
Because it's meant to be easy. It's the world, Windows was really the beginning of the world deciding that if people weren't going to come to the computer, well, then the computer was going to come to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. And even when we talk about BuzzSumo and looking at where are people sharing important articles, which tells you where to share your articles, but it's also telling you which articles are good and people like, so that you can consider what kind of article or page or content to put on your website. That's no more complicated than typing in general contractor or remodeling contractor or bathroom remodel and clicking search. That's how complicated that tool is.
Right. And that tool is meant to be digestible, because who uses that tool? Well, I'm an SEO. I use that tool. Sean's a content writer. He uses that tool. You're researching the topic. You're using that tool. So people are left with the impression that certain things are targeted towards one person, and if I don't understand it, then I just can't understand it. But these tools are not made for one person.
No.
Yeah.
And I use them as a business leader. I use these tools all the time to check up on my team.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what and if I could get anything else across to anybody listening, is that these tools we talk about, I think they're for the business owner first. Because I can go, hey guys, I looked at the article you created with BuzzSumo, and I looked at what the most popular is, and I don't see anything that's recognizable with our article. You didn't look at what's important. Or I can use the Google tool, the mobile friendly test, to see if my website's mobile friendly, or the page that just got built's mobile friendly. And I can say to my team, hey guys, why didn't you make that page mobile friendly? It's that easy. And I now all of a sudden have the tools to know how to check up on my team. I mean, it's just that, I don't know how else to say it. It's just that clear.
Yeah. Or how to assist them to know what direction. I mean, if you have a team, saying checking up on my team, yeah, that's part of being a boss. And, I realize that it's, maybe a But it's only one part of being the boss. Another part is that your team is looking to you for leadership, and maybe they're not going in the directions that they need to be going in, and you can draw their attention to these things so that they are more successful at their job, making everybody happier.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we are coming to the end of this show. You've been listening to the Being Found show. I'm Cloudwise Joe, and we got Chauncey Haworth.
I'm your crew of interest superheroes.
Are you reading something that is not spelled right? That is crew.
Yeah.
It does say interest. Well,
you're sharing it, man.
Yeah, you're right.
That's funny.
Yeah, you're right. It does say that. So we're on every Saturday. Come on back. You also can go to beingfound.com and you can watch the video of the show and find all kinds of helpful articles. We really are trying to pull back the green curtain and make sense of the internet for you. Thank you for listening as always. We wouldn't be on if you weren't listening. Have a great weekend.